when it comes to creating materials for your classes, there's a couple things you can do. One would be to hire a writer, a photographer, a videographer, and have them create something really cool for you. But with the new technologies, it's becoming a lot easier to create your own material. And I'm just going to show you some of the basics. I'm guessing that a lot of you already know most of what I'm going to be telling you, but feel free to interrupt, ask questions as we go along. Maybe that will make it a little bit more worthwhile. So, one of the basics, if you've got something on your screen and you want to do a basic screen capture, there's two ways to do that. You hit the print screen button on your keyboard, and we're talking about a PC at the moment. You hit a print screen button, and that gives you an image of your entire screen, and you can paste that into anything you're working on. So if you're on a website and you want to get a picture of that, hit the print screen button. It'll give you a whole screenshot. Puts it on the clipboard, put it in any of your other programs, Word, PowerPoint, whatever. If you want to just capture the active window, the window that's open at the moment, and not your whole screen, you can hold down the Alt key and press print screen. That'll get you the active window. With the Office snipping tool, I guess it's a operating system snipping tool, I don't know if you've used that, but that's a really handy feature. Click on the snipping button, and that kind of glosses over the entire screen, and then you select what you want to capture. So if you just want a little icon or something that you want to use for your course, the snipping tool is really handy, and then you can copy and paste that into anything you want, or save it as an image. Okay. Now, you've got your image on your clipboard, you've pasted it.
Excuse me, can you tell us where the snipping tool is located?
Okay.
Where is it?
I just do a search for snip, and it comes up with the snipping tool. And I can click on that. And you notice how the whole screen got kind of washed out?
Yeah.
So I want just this slide as an image. I just highlight that, and now it's an image, and I can either edit, copy it, or I can file, save it as, and I can save it to my computer as a PNG, or Portable Network Graphics image. So that's the snipping tool.
Cool, thank you.
And no, I don't want to save that. Okay. So, anyway, you've got your pictures. Let me go back.
I'm sorry, quick question.
Yeah, sure.
Is the snipping tool available for Windows XP, or is it just a Windows 7 feature?
As far as
Vista and
I think it's Windows 7. I don't know if it's an XP or not. Jackie, do you know?
it's not.
It's a Windows 7 tool, but there is something similar in earlier versions. It's just called something different.
We don't know what it is.
Okay. All right, thank you.
That's not the only tool. There are a lot of other tools that I'll be showing you just a little bit later for screen captures and things like that. But that's just one that happens to be built into the PC. So that's why I mentioned that one. But there are others. Okay. So anyway, you've got your image, we've just saved the image, and now we want to edit it. We want to either crop it, or we want to change the size of it, make it a little bit bigger, or it's too light or too dark. There's a lot of nice programs out there to do that. Two freebies are PhotoFlexer. That's an online tool. You just upload your picture to PhotoFlexer. You can edit it the way you want it and bring it back down and use it however you want. There's a program called GIMP, which is very similar to Photoshop, but it's an open source program, so you can download it and use it for free. And it's a pretty sophisticated photo editing program, so if you want to load that on your computer, you can do that as well.
What's it called again? GIMP?
GIMP, G-I-M-P, GIMP, yep. It's a nice photo editing tool. I actually, because I want to do it quick and easy, I really often use Microsoft Office Picture Manager, or MOPM. if you right-click on an image, and I can do that, right-click, well, let's see. I have to get an image file up here. Watch me not have any pictures in here. Wow, I thought I would have had one. But anyway, let me go into here. I hate to take you through all my mess, but okay, so we have a sample picture right here. All right. What I can do is right-click on here and open with Microsoft Office 2010. In the older versions, it used to be Microsoft Office Picture Manager, but this is Microsoft Office 2010. That is Microsoft's built-in photo editor, so I open it with that, and now I can go up here and I can edit this picture. I can change the brightness and contrast. I can change the color. I can crop it. I can rotate it. It's got automatic red eye removal, resize, and compressed picture, meaning after you've cropped it, you get rid of all the garbage that's there. That is built into Microsoft Office, so if you're trying to edit your pictures, it's a freebie editor, so it's a really nice feature. Okay. Now, PowerPoint, if you've used the latest PowerPoint, it's got phenomenal image editing features built right in using the Picture Tools ribbon that's on the top here. It's got the ability to sharpen and soften, change the brightness and contrast. You pick whichever one of these you like the best. You can do artistic effects. You can get rid of backgrounds. They have a background removal tool up here, so if you brought in an image and it's got a white background or a black background, you want to remove it, this will do it automatically. You can set a transparent color. If you want a background to be transparent, you can do that. So cropping, you can do just about anything basic image editing right within PowerPoint. So I'll use that a lot for image editing. Questions on that? Okay. If you're using a Mac, and I know a few of you still like to use Macs, and I think as we move into the iPad world, there's going to be more people using Macs, but you can do screen captures. It's Command-Shift-3 for that captures the whole screen. Command-Shift-4 allows you to actually select an area of the screen that you want to capture. So that's similar to the PC, but that's the Mac version. Okay, now let's say that you're moving beyond images and you actually want to do some screen recording so that you can create a video of what's going on the screen so you're not just stuck with still images. There's a couple really nice ones, online ones. Screencast-O-Matic and Screener are two very popular screen recording software programs. And they're available just by going to the website and clicking on there and starting. Cam Studio is a free open source screen recording program. I'm sure some of you have used Camtasia. That's a little on the expensive side, but it's high quality, so you can use Camtasia. NCH Software has something called Debut, which I think is actually free or it's low cost. I'm not sure. Fast Stone Capture, that's one that I had never heard of, but it seems to be very popular. Jing is an interesting one. Jing is by the same people, TechSmith, that make Camtasia, but it's the freebie version of Camtasia with some just basic stuff, but it's limited to, I think, what, 5 minutes? You can only do a 5-minute screen recording. Actually, that's a plus for some people because some people like to go on and on and on, and I know that my attention span for a video is probably about 5-7 minutes. After that, I'm starting to doze myself. So It's probably a good idea to keep your screen recording short. So that's another one. And then Hypercam is one that was recommended to me. I haven't used Hypercam, but it's one that was recommended. So those are some screen recordings. With those, you can actually create a video of what's going on the screen. So if you have an application you want to show how something works, or if you just want to do a narrated PowerPoint, you could do that with any of these screen recording programs. Questions? Okay. As John mentioned, Audacity is probably one of people's favorite audio recording programs. It's free, and it's got a lot of really nice features. You can filter things, you can take out noise, you can edit hiccups and things like that. You can really do a lot with Audacity. There's a bunch of other software programs available. Some of the more popular ones are YouTube, iMovie, iTunes U, Camtasia Studio, and GarageBand. So people are creating podcasts. If you're doing video, then it would be called a podcast, but it's basically the same thing. As John was talking about his podcasts, I was thinking, being a visual kind of person, I was thinking how much better it would be just to have some still pictures going on, or even a video of what he's talking about. When he's talking about a Dropbox, if you were actually going to show the Dropbox and open it up while he's talking about it, you could do that with a screen recording thing. And for me, being the visual kind of learner that I am, I'd really like to see him do that as he's telling me about it. Just like we did with the snipping tool there. You really wouldn't have understood it as well until I showed you what I was talking about. Okay, iPads and the iPods, iPhones are becoming way popular, and I think that education is probably going to be heading in that direction. At least it appears that way to me. And so there's a lot of apps that are out there. These are only a few of the apps that you can use for podcasting, for explaining things, for showing students how to do things, how to graph, annotating pictures, illustrating things in pictures, just showing and recording voiceover for almost anything. I mean, there's so many apps out there. Most of them are free, so as the iPad becomes more popular in education, I think you're going to be seeing a lot of iPad-created educational content. It's just so fun and easy to use that, I don't know, I just think that's the way it's going to be heading. Okay, there are, of course, traditional ways to create videos. I mentioned the iPad. There's the flip video camera. John actually brought his little flip video camera in, so here you go. He's got a handy little tripod. He can set that up in front of him and record himself giving his lectures. Standard video camera, the iPhone. We've had instructors create videos for their courses using their iPhones, or just a standard webcam. So there's all kinds of ways you can create educational content for your courses with the technology that's out there. But let's say that you don't necessarily want to create your own content and you want to use resources that are available that other people have made. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you may not be the first instructor to have ever taught the content that's in your course. So sometimes it's easier just to go out there and look at what other people have done. One of my favorite places to go to see what other people have done is OpenCourseWare Consortium. That's ocwconsortium.org. There you'll find entire courses with all the course content, all the modules, all the lecture notes, all the exams, syllabi, the works. You'll find complete courses by lots and lots of schools all around the world. In fact, if you find something from a Chinese university that's really good, but it's not in English, OpenCourseWare Consortium has people that will translate course content for you. So it's really interesting, it's free. So if you're looking at how other people are teaching your course, that's a great place to go. Of course, you can always talk to your colleagues that are teaching that same course. When I'm trying to develop a course here, either hybrid or online, I like to see if anybody's teaching it at World Campus, and many times they're glad to share what's in their courses and how they've developed it. And so a lot of times the content's ready to go. You can check with Penn State Media Commons if you need help with creating any kind of content. If you're having trouble using one of the editors or something like that, you can check with Media Commons. Let me go back here to Khan Academy. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Khan Academy, but they are a resource for course materials, recorded course materials, good lectures, good presentations. They're really trying to be a repository for all kinds of course content. So if you haven't checked out the videos at Khan Academy, be sure you do that. Again, they're free. All this is, that's the beauty of all this stuff. It's free, and so it's easy for your students to get to. You'll find lots of content on iTunes U and on YouTube. In fact, one of the places I go to when I'm trying to figure out something in Angel that I can't quite figure out how to do, I'll do a YouTube search for it, and there's probably somebody there showing me how to do it. So I really like YouTube for that too. Share.psu, if you haven't been there, that's a repository that Penn State is trying to build up. If you've got course content that you're willing to share with other people, you can put it on there. Materials, animations that World Campus creates, they put that on there. Lots of course content there that you wouldn't be able to create the animation yourself, but it may already exist there. If you're looking for resources on how to teach online or where some more resources are located, Web Learning at Penn State is a site that's being built up as we speak. It had kind of fallen into disrepair for a little while, but I think it's coming back now. The instructional designers are planning on using that as a resource holding area where things that we come up with from various campuses or from World Campus, we're going to start putting into the Web Learning site so that everybody at all the campuses has access to what we're doing locally. And Merlot is another one of the repositories for educational content. That's one that's real popular. And finally on this slide, I don't want to drag this one out too long. I've already done that, but so bear with me for one more here. When faculty come to me and they say, okay, how do I find out what other people have done in this course? How are people teaching math 3.0, whatever? I like to do an advanced Google search. And the way you do that is you go to Google, you type in what you're searching for, and normally I'll say, okay, we want the math. If you have any specific details like graphing, so on and so forth, add that. And then go ahead and search for that. Then scroll down to the bottom, and at the bottom there's an advanced search. If you say that you want to search only the .edu domain, that throws out a lot of the junk that's there, and you will find entire courses again. You'll find good syllabi, you'll find lots of stuff. I've actually developed several courses, and I've used this and gone and found courses that were developed by experts in the field, and I emailed them and I said, I really love the way you blah, blah, blah. Every time I've done that, they've come back and said, sure, I'd be glad to share what I've done. I'm glad that other people are using it. So I find that's a great way to find content for your courses. Question?
I was wondering if you could quickly show us how to do that.
Sure.
Google, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. Okay. How do you get to the internet again? Okay.
It's being recorded. Yeah, being recorded.
Okay. Who's got a sample of a course that they'd like to find a syllabus for and perhaps course material for? Anybody? Wilkes-Barre, you gotta have something you're looking for.
Crim J100.
Criminal justice. Okay, I do a quick search on here. Okay, and it brings up all kinds of stuff. Now, we want to get rid of some of the people that are trying to sell us courses and people that are trying to get us to enroll in their courses. And so I go down here to the bottom to advanced search, and I've got the Criminal Justice 100 in there. And I say I would like to do site or domain. I only want .edu, okay? Under site or domain, I want to search for .edu stuff. So that when I do an advanced search, all of these are going to be .edu resources. So some of these are just advertisements for their courses or course postings. But here's one, CCJS 100, Intro to Criminal Justice from University Libraries at University of Maryland. And so there's a resource that might be useful to me. Let's see. University of New Haven Criminal Justice. And so some of these you can get into their courses. Like I say, some of these are just course descriptions, but many times what I'll do is I'll add the term syllabus to this. And we're still in the .edu domain name there, but you can get all kinds of really good stuff here. So here's somebody's syllabus. So if I'm trying to figure out how to organize my course, okay, I'm going to go check out their syllabus, and I see what textbook they're using. I see how they've laid it out, and so on and so forth. So spending an hour or so in this area is going to give you a real good idea of how others are teaching Crim Justice 100, and give you a ton of resources that you can use, textbooks, library resources, and so on and so forth. So that's how I do that one. Okay? Okay. Now, I'm almost at the end here, but Penn State has a lot of resources for faculty that are trying to get some experience with teaching online, and they start with their OL 1000 in the online learning series. But you can see they've got a lot of different OL courses there, specifically for the military audience, one to learn about technology. The OL 1900 is really how proficient are you at using Angel. Prove that you can, do this stuff. Effective online teaching is the OL 2000. Group work, technology and education, and OL 4000 is kind of the culminating, okay, let's have you author your own course. So that's all available. You can sign up for those. They're all free, and they're all available at the PSU World Campus Fac Dev Ning. It's .ning.com. They use the Ning website rather than the Penn State website, so that confuses a lot of people. They do a search for World Campus Faculty Development, and it comes up with a Ning, and they say, well, that can't possibly be it, but it is. Okay, and for those of you that are interested in VLN, there's a technical orientation, basically how does this equipment work, what do we need to know if we have a problem, so on and so forth. That's the VLN 1000. And the VLN 2000 is, okay, how do we get students to interact online? How do we prepare materials in a hybrid format that students that are effective, and so on and so forth. So that's also at the PSU FacNing, PSU WC FacDev.ning.com. Okay? And for more on blended learning, You can either check the Penn State Lehigh Valley site. Actually, if you go to, what is it, academics, instructional design, and then that'll take you to the blended learning stuff. Or you can go to that weblearning.edu.psu.edu site that I mentioned earlier. So that's it. That's all I have. And now it's question and answer time for both John and me, or anybody to ask anybody. So interactive question time. Or coffee time. I don't know which.
I got one, Griff.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's it. I just wanted to add another thing too with the video pieces that you posted out there. Those are all great. Screener is really great because it runs in the browser, and our lockdown bricks that we carry around with us these days, you don't have to install anything, so that's a good thing. The other thing too that I became aware of over the past couple of semesters in teaching to students who work for DoD. Video sometimes is blocked, so if you're using YouTube instead of podcasts, you might have to upload a WMV or the MP4 file into Angel so they can watch it. They have YouTube stuff blocked if they're at work and they're taking a class or however it may be. So that's just something to think about. Some of their networks are also restricted for a lot of that stuff, so you might encounter a student who has that requirement.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. And I know that our firewalls here sometimes block a lot of stuff, but what we found is a lot of people have trouble playing videos right from Angel for some reason, and I don't know why. And Angel does have I think they have a maximum content size for courses, so we encourage people not to upload videos into Angel. But if they're not too huge, that works. We just went with YouTube because it seems like most people have access to YouTube most of the time. That seemed to be the one that caused the least amount of problems. Eileen, you had something?
I was going to say the streaming server.
Press the button.
Oh, sorry, forgot to press the button. We've been using the streaming server, but the problem with that is I'm not loud enough?
Talk to Mike.
The problem with the streaming server is that you have to have it in the file in a particular format, but that's worked really well for courses that have a lot of video content.
Can you say more about how they sign up for that or get to use the streaming server?
The streaming server is, all you have to do is go to streaming.psu.edu, and you basically log in and you can upload a video right away. It'll give you 3 different file sizes, which I find very helpful. I post all 3 because many times I've had the case even here on campus where our network slowed down to a crawl and I could barely play the smallest size. So I give the students the opportunity, I give them 3 links, the small, the blog size, and the original size. And I find that really works well. And then, post it right into Angel on a page. So the only thing, as I say, you have to have it in an MP4 format that is a Mac format, an Apple format. So I use, for files that have been created in a Windows machine, I use a tool called MPEG StreamClip, and that seems to do a pretty good job converting files, getting them ready. So if you need more information, you can talk to Dean. I'll give him all the scoop.
Well, this is why it's good to have instructional design and media commons people at your campus, because they can kind of help you with all the technology, the file formats, and so on and so forth, because that can trip you up if you're just getting started. But once you get the process down, you'll find it's fairly easy. Thanks.
Dean, I just want to add to that. I think that the reason why I like audio podcasts is for that reason, that a lot of times students will have problems with video podcasts. Even though I agree that video is better, I've learned that audio you tend to have less problems, and you can upload an audio podcast right into your course room. So that's just my own personal experience, why I prefer audio over video.
What file format do you use?
MP3.
MP3?
And there's no problem with taking you're not taking up any more of a load to the course for the Angel people than you would if you had a discussion board or whatever. So although I like the video, I think Camtasia, some of the other things you've mentioned are good to have. I think the problem with the video has been, where do you house it? Where do you put it? For videos, but not audio.
Thanks. Anybody else have any comments or experience that they'd like to share?
Is your PowerPoint on the Angel site? Dean, would you make sure your PowerPoint is on the Angel site so they can review it,
Oh,
the
okay.
resources are
Sure,
listed?
yeah, I'll put that on the Angel site. That's in the Eastern Alliance?
It's in the Eastern Alliance folder, yes.
Okay.
It's service
Okay,
folder.
Yeah,
we'll
put
do
it under
that.
in service so that the folks, if they want to go back and review it, they'll be able to do that.
Okay. Good. And as far as the recording, the video recording, we'll have that up on the Eastern Alliance for this. We'll post the recording from the video conference server, the Polycom server, as well as the video that we're recording.
All right, folks, great. Thank you so much for your attendance today. We will have these resources, as we said, on the Eastern Alliance site of Angel. We are hoping to have another in-service for the fall. So please share this information with your peers, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. My email address is bud3. The joke around the house is that I'll be your bud, your Eastern Alliance bud, bud3. You can also contact John Weber, Carr, or Dean Schaefer. So thanks so much for attending today, and hopefully we'll see you again in the fall. Thanks so much.